Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Technocraft Academy. Okay, so today, let's wait for a couple of minutes for others to get joined. Okay, let's get started. So I hope you all are doing great. So today is our fifth session on Master Course on Data Analytics. Okay, just to summarize, so in our previous sessions, like in session 1, we have covered what is data analytics, its importance, and what are the current job openings and opportunities for data analytics. And in our second session, we have seen what is a SQL, its importance in data analytics, and how to install Oracle Apex and how to practice all the SQL queries there. In the third session, we have covered um, different types of SQL commands and arithmetic and logical operators. And in our previous session, that is session 4, we have covered single row functions like NVL, NVL2, and what is case, decode, and all. And today, in our fifth session, we are going to cover what is group function and what are the different types of joins that are available in SQL. Okay, so let's get started. Just to give a brief introduction about us. So, we are Technocraft Academy. We provide trainings on basic computer course, spoken English, and CAD, CAM, and CA design technologies, data analytics course, full stack development course. Along with training, we also provide assistance in placements, which includes resume building, interview preparations, soft skill training, and we have a connection with the industry partners and HR recruitment teams. We are available on the different social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We also have a WhatsApp community. Please do join it, where we provide updates on the job openings, also interview questions, and the link is provided in the description. Please join our WhatsApp community for further any informations. Okay, let's get started with the today's session then. Okay, so we are going to look at what are group functions. Okay, group functions, these processes the values of multiple rows and give us a result in a single row or in each row. So per group we'll get a one result. So we have a different group functions like sum, minimum, maximum, average, count, and the count distinct columns and all. So sum is like a, if you provide any column name, we'll get the sum of that. So these all like a sum, minimum, maximum, and average operates on the integer or the numeric values of the columns. Okay, let's check out all these examples in our Oracle Apex. Okay, about Oracle Apex, I have already covered it in the session 2. Um, in our previous session, someone has asked me about which software tool I'm using. This is a Oracle Apex where you can practice. This is just for training. This is not used in an industrial or corporate work. And this is for training purpose or the learning purpose. You can down. I have covered about this Oracle Apex in our session 2. You can go through it. So I have already loaded a employees table. So Now I'm going to use some of the group functions like sum, minimum, maximum to see how the results we get. So I'm going to do select star from employee. So we have all these columns. So I'm going to use a sum group function here. So I'll use it on a salary. So if I want to group it based upon the salary, if I want the total salary, then I can use a salary, sum of salary from employee. So it's a total salary I'm getting here. So if you want to know what is the minimum salary that is provided, then you can use a group function called minimum. The keyword is mi and min. So this is the minimum salary that is provided. And if you want to check what is the maximum, then you can use a max here. So this is the maximum salary which is provided, 24,000. You can check even the average. So this is the average salary of all the employees. Okay, so if you want to okay, there are other group functions as well, like a count. So if I get a count of, if I need to count total employees, then I can write it count of employee ID. It's a total employees 107. So you can, instead of employee ID, if you can also write it as a count of star. These all are group functions only. So count of star is like, it can take any column, but you'll get all the total row counts, which is 107 again. So now you want to count something like there are different job IDs, but you want to you want just the distinct job IDs, then you can take a distinct count of job ID. Okay, there are 107 distinct count of job IDs. Okay, so now we have seen that, like, I'm using these group functions on only one of the columns. So if you want to include it, like you want to have other columns along with it, so then how we have a clause called group by clause. So here, if you want to combine it with a different value, like a you want other columns also to include it along with the sum of the salary. If you want to know what is the job ID or what is the employee name, then you can use a group by column here. So a group by is used to combine rows that have the same values in the specified column and perform aggregate functions like count, sum, average, minimum, max. So this is the example. You can see we have a different job IDs. So I want to group them along like all the different job IDs and get the count of employees for each of the job IDs. Then I can use a group by function here. Okay. Let's try to run this example. And below is the order by. So order by is nothing but once you have grouped it, so if you want to sort it in some order, like either a descending order or ascending order, then you can use the order by. So order by is always followed by group by. Okay, so let's try out these group by and order by clauses. So I'm going to take like I want to group it based upon the job IDs and get the sum of the the total salary for that job ID, particular job ID. Then I can take it as sum of salary from employee table, where I need to group it based upon the job ID. So you can see now, uh, we have a different job IDs here, and what is the total salary for each of these job IDs. So instead of some, let me take it as average, just to know what will be the average salary provided for each of these job IDs. Okay, you can see for advisor vice president it is a 17,000. For clerk it is a 2,780 is the average salary. So similarly for rest of the job IDs as well. So one thing we have to remember here, so when we are using average salary and job ID, since if I try to run only select job ID and average salary from employee, this won't give us a result, because average is a group function, whereas job ID it is not a group, like a, it's, we have it is for each of the rows. So that's why we are not getting any results here. So the columns which are not included in the group will not get any results for them. So if you are including any group functions, then the rest of the column needs to be grouped. So I'm grouping here by job ID. Or else if you want even if I want even the employee ID as well here. So if I try to run this query, then this will not give any result, because employee ID is not a grouped function, like it is not grouped. That's why I'm getting an error. So if you want to get a result here, then you have to include even the employee ID under group by. So group by always comes with a group functions like average, sum, salary and all. Okay, so now you can see for each of the employee ID, what is the job ID and average salary we are getting. Okay, so now I want to order it by something like I'll remove the employee ID or let it be. Okay, so if I want to get the results in a down um, ascending order or a descending order, then I can use a order by. So I'll use order by employee ID. So by default it will take ascending. So if you want to get it in a descending order, then you can use a keyword called DAC, descending. So similarly for ascending you'll have a ASC, ascending order. So this is a descending order. You can see I'm getting all the employee IDs, job ID and their average salary. It's just showing 10 rows because here it is a 10 rows. We have a total 107 rows, so I'm selecting 200. Okay, now you can see all the employee IDs along with the since we are getting 107 rows, we are grouping it by employee ID. So each employee IDs are unique. That's why it's like a different 8. All employee IDs are coming in a single row. Okay, so this is about order by and group by. Now, so if you want to if you want to apply any condition, um, like after grouping, then we have a having clause. So we have a two clauses, where clause and having clause, but where clause cannot be used to filter on the grouped rows. That's why we have a having clause. So this is the main difference between having clause and where clause. So one of the most asked interview question, what is the difference between where clause and having clause? So the main difference is where clause cannot be used on the grouping, like you cannot use it after group functions, but having clause is used after aggregate functions or the group functions like sum and average. So if you want to filter anything after grouping, then you can use a having clause. Okay, so you can see the example here. Here we are applying a job ID is equal to engineering, and here, so this is before group by, like before group by function we are applying this condition. But if you want to apply some condition after grouping, then you have to use having job ID. Okay, let's try out this example. Okay, so now I want to use where job ID equals to, let me take it as a IT programmer. So we can see I just put an condition called where job ID equal to IT program before grouping. Um, that's why it is getting a result. So if you want to try where after a group by, then this won't give me any results. Yeah, so this is giving an error because where clause does not work after grouping. So instead of where, you can use a having clause here. Having job ID equal to IT. So this gives us the result. So this is just a simple example, but in reality, so we may require to apply some of the conditions after grouping. So we can cover such examples in the future when we will be looking in the subqueries and all. Uh, so that time, like when you want to apply any condition after grouping, then you can use a having clause. And if you want to apply a condition before grouping, then you can use a where condition. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so now let's get into our next topic, joins. So I think everybody might have heard about the joins. The joins is very important in SQL. So why joins is required is like if, we may not have all the data in a single table. So it's like very often we'll have the uh, data in different tables. So this requires us to join the tables to get result in at a single platform. So that time we may need to join different tables. So we have a different types of joins in SQL. Like we have inner join, left join, right join, full join or the outer join, and then the self join. So we'll go one by one. So the first one is the inner join. Inner join is used to combine rows from two or more tables. So it returns only the matching values between both the tables. And if there are no match or if there are no values, then we'll have a null. Okay. So let's check out this example. So you can see in the diagram as well. So this is a one table like a table A, and this is one more table, table 2. So if both the tables are having anything common in between them, then we'll get only the results. So this green portion you are saying, so this is both the tables are having these values, so we'll get only that result. Okay. So let's check out an example for this. Okay. So I have an employee table. Now I will let me load another table um, called department. Okay, so I'm going to utilities, data workshop. So I'm going to load the data from here. So let me load this departments table. I'm giving a name it as a department. Okay, now the data is loaded. Let's go to SQL command. First, let me check out what are the different columns available in the department table. Okay, you can see we have a ID, department ID, department name, manager ID, location ID. Okay, so similarly, let's check out what are the columns that are available in our employees table. So in order to make a join between the two tables, we need to have at least one column that is in common in between both the tables. So in order to join two tables, we need to have one column that helps us to build a relation between two different tables. Okay, you can see we have a ID, employee ID, first name, job. We have a column called department ID. So we can use both the tables are having a department ID as a common column. So we can use a department ID to join both of the tables here. Okay, so let's try to join these both the tables. So I want like a employee ID from the employees table. So I'm going to write it employee ID. Then I need a salary. Okay. So from the department table, let me take a department name. Okay. So these columns I'm going to get it from by joining both the tables. So from employee table, and then we are going to join it. So before that, we need to give an alias name for this table. So I'm going to give it alias as E. So employee ID is from the employee table, which is having an alias E. So it's like E dot employee ID, and salary is also from the employee table. So it's again E dot salary. And for the department table, I'm going to give alias as D. So I'll take it as a D dot department name. So from employees, then we are going to join both of them. You can write inner join department table. So alias is a D. So we are going to join these both based upon the department ID. So on inner join on, it's D dot department ID equals to, okay, first let me take the our source table, which is E. So E dot department ID equals to d dot department id. Okay, let's try running this query now. We can see like we are getting all the employee ID, salary, and the department which they belong to, each of these employees. So I can also include the first name. Let me take the first name as well here. I hope it was a first name. Let me check that. Okay. Okay, now we can see we are getting 106 rows. So that means one of the department ID is not matching between both the tables. That's why we are getting 106 rows instead of 107 rows. Okay. Let's try to compare it. Let me take it as a e dot department ID and as well as d dot department ID to check. So all the, like, we can compare here, everything is matching. So we are getting all these 106 rows. Okay. In order to know like which department ID is missing from this, let me try running the distinct. Then let's see like which for example, if I take here, select distinct of department ID. From employees table. Okay, we have 50, 40, 100, and 90, 30, 70, null, 10, 20, 60, 100, 80. So similarly, if you want to see what is the distinct department IDs from this after inner joining, um, let's try this one. Let me take distinct. If you see, everything is common, so one row that is missing is the null value. So we had a null value in the employees table, so that's why we are getting 11 rows here and 12 rows there. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Like we are getting only the matching employee ID between both the tables and the null value is ignored. So this is about the inner join. Okay, so next uh, look it into next or next to join, left join. So what happens in the left join is like you get all the rows from the left table or the table 1 and only the matching rows from the right table. So if there are no matching values corresponding to the left table, then you will get a null value from the right table. Okay, so let's try an example for this. So here, instead of inner join, let me try left join. So now you can see I'm getting an additional row which was null in the department ID. Department ID from the employees table. So the corresponding value was not present in the department table, so it is still null here. Okay. Uh, if this is not clear, let me give another example. First, let me show you employees table. So in the employees table, there is a record for which we don't have a department ID. So this is the row 79th. So if you see, we have a first name, Kimberly Grant. So he's not having any department ID. But if we join it left join, then we'll get his name as well. But the corresponding department name should be a null. Okay, so let's try that example. So if I take select instead of department IDs and all, let me go with the first name or the employee ID, which is e dot employee ID, comma, and let me take his first name as well. Okay, now the corresponding department name from the department table. So I'm going to do it left join. So if I'm doing left join, then I should get all the employee's name and employee ID from the first table and the corresponding matching values from the department name. So if you see, I'm getting 107 rows. That means I'm getting all the rows from the table 1 and then only the corresponding matching values from the department table. That is our second table. And if there is a no matching value from the second table, then I'm going to get a null value or the blank. So if you see this row, like first name was Kimberly, so he did not had any department ID. So the department name is a blank here or the null value. So but still we are getting the first name. Okay, I hope this is clear about the left join. Okay, let's go to our next join. So our next join condition is a right join. So what happens in the right join? It is exactly opposite of the left join. So in the right join, we'll get all the values from our second table or the table 2 right table, and we'll get all the matching rows from the first table or the left table. And then uh, what if there are no rows that are matching or corresponding to the rows from the second table, then we'll get a null values. Okay, let's try out this in example. Okay, first let me do a select star on department. We have our 27 rows. Okay, so these are the different department IDs here. Let's try if I'm getting all the department IDs and all. So here instead of right join, I'm going to use a left join. Sorry, instead of left join, I'm going to use a right join. E dot department ID to the D dot department ID. Okay. So now you can see we are getting a blank like a null values for the employee ID and the first name, because for these department names or these department IDs we don't have any corresponding value for the first name and employee ID in our employees table. That's why we are getting the null values here, but all the department names from the our second table or the right table are included. Now you can see the count rows has increased to 122 because whatever the matching values there, so we got everything. So 102 were the matching rows, so all the 102 rows were included. Apart from that, there were other department names as well in the department table, even though which did not had any matching values on the employee table, but still we are getting it because we have used a right join. Okay, so these are the results for the right join. So this is one of the question, like an interview question they ask, what is the difference between the right join, left join, and inner join and the outer join. So our next join is the full join or the full outer join. So full join, it's like we get all the results, all the rows from both the tables. Even if there are no matching, then we'll get the null for that corresponding row, but we'll get all the rows from both the tables. So this is a full outer join. So let's check out this example as well. So we have seen like when we use the right join, we got 107 rows, but when we used inner join, we got 106 rows, and for right join, we got a 122 rows. So now let's try what we'll get for the full join. Okay, full join is giving us 123 rows. Like we had seen, employees table had like both the joins, when we did both the joins we had got 106 rows because one of the row was missing from the first table. So when we did a right join, we got 122 rows because like a department table had a extra rows, so we got 122, and one more extra remaining which we did it in the left join, so that including we are getting 123 rows. So we can see for these department IDs we didn't have the first name and the employee ID from the first table, but we are getting all these department names. Similarly, there was one more row where we had a first name and the employee ID but no department name. Yeah, this one, Kimberly. So we are getting this row as well. So we are getting all the rows from both the tables, from table 1 as well as the table 2. So it includes all the rows. If there are no matching values, then we'll get a null values. Okay. So this is about the full outer join, and next we have one more join called self join. So self join is nothing but joining the table with itself. So if you want to join the table with itself, then we use sometimes it requires us to join with the same table to get the different analysis. Then we need a self join here. So you can see like a table is joined with itself whenever you want to. This is called a self join. So self join is most rarely used, but rest of the joins like inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join are most used. Amongst them, inner join and left join are most frequently used. Okay, so this is the self join. It is similar. You can just same table names are given with the aliases, and you are going to join it on two different columns which are in if there are any some common values in between both of them, then you can use those columns to join between both of them. So this is about the self join. One of the interview question that is most of the times asked is they provide us the two tables with some values, and then they ask what will be the output for in a join, they ask the count or the results whenever they join between the tables, like what will be the output for inner join, right join, left join, and full outer join. So I'll be covering some of the interview questions in our next session. So this is about today's session. So just to summarize, I have covered today the different group functions like sum, minimum, maximum, average, count, count of star, and distinct count. These are the group functions. So if you want to, whenever you are using a group functions, you have to use a group by function in order to use other columns. And you can also get the results based upon any ascending or a descending order by using a order by clause. And then if you want to apply any condition after grouping, then you can use a having clause, and where clause is used before grouping. After grouping you can use a having clause. Okay, and then we have looked into joins. So what are the different types of joins available in the SQL? Inner join, which gives us the results only the matching values between both the tables. Then left join, which gives all the rows from our first table and only the matching or the corresponding values from the second table. And then we have a right join, which gives us all the values from our second table and only the matching values are from the first table. And full join or the full outer join, which gives us results like all the rows from both the tables. So it's not like you have to join only the two tables. I'm mentioning two tables, but it can be more than two tables as well. Okay, then we have a self join where we join with the same table, then we call it as a self join. Okay, this is all about today's session. um, okay um, Okay, so thank you for joining the session. Just to inform, we are available on different social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Please do follow. We also have a WhatsApp community where we provide updates on the job openings and interview preparations as well. So please join our WhatsApp community as well. So link is provided in the description. Okay, thank you. Let's meet in our next session.